Good afternoon, I'm Sean Yao, and this is One News Now. The Department of Health welcomes the designation of Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergeire as officer in charge. The DOH said it appreciates President Bongbong Marcos's confidence in one of its career executives. Former Health Secretary Francisco Duque III agrees, calling it a good choice. Duque calls Vergeire a highly regarded professional civil servant who is dedicated to public service. Former Health Secretary and Iloilo 1st District Representative Janet Garin is proud to see her former colleague at the helm of the Health Department. Garin recalls Vergeire's valuable help in the internal cleansing of the Food and Drug Administration and setting up operational systems for the Health Department. Meanwhile, the Justice Department says that the appointment of lawyer Rafael Lotilla as the next Energy Secretary is valid and lawful. In a statement, the DOJ says Lotilla's position as independent director in energy companies is not prohibited by the law that created the Energy Department. Earlier, Malacanang had put on hold his nomination pending the clarification of his employment status. Lotilla is an independent director of Aboitiz Power Corporation and oil and gas firm AC Enexor. He was also the Energy Secretary of former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo from 2005 to 2007. We're gonna pause for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. Keep it here on One News.
Sean?
Yep.
Kausapin si,
Sure.
Maan.
Hi, Maan. Hi, Maan. Checking.
Yes, from August 22, all private and public
You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. It's final. Vice President and Education Secretary Sara Duterte says classes will open on August 22. Let's get the details from Marian Enriquez, who's reporting to us live from Mandaluyong. Maan, good afternoon. The Teachers Dignity Coalition said that they need more time before the next school year starts. What did Secretary Duterte tell them?
Yes, Sean, well, despite the call of some groups of teachers asking to move the opening of classes sometime in September, Vice President and Deputy Secretary Sara Duterte said that the August 22 school opening is already final and that this has already been approved by President Bongbong Marcos. She also said that the schools can now safely open classes since there have been health protocols for the last 2 years. Sean.
All right, let's clarify something here, Maan. Beginning August 22, schools are required to open already, but can they still implement hybrid or blended learning setups, or is this completely not allowed? What's going on?
If I understand right, Sean, yes, by August 22, all private and public schools are still allowed to implement full distance learning or blended learning modalities until October 31. Sean?
Okay, so they will be allowed, but only until October 31. We'll see what happens after October 31. Meanwhile, Maan, overcrowding in classrooms has always been a problem in most public schools, even before the COVID-19 pandemic. Will there be restrictions on the number of students allowed inside a classroom to ensure physical distancing?
Sean, Vice President Sara Duterte did not indicate as well in their department order regarding the specific number of students per classroom, as you know, they understand that all schools have different situations. What they really pointed out during the cabinet meeting and in their department order is that physical distancing shall be implemented whenever possible. Sean.
All right, we'll try to get more clarity on what that means exactly. What about with unvaccinated students, Maan? Will unvaccinated children be allowed to attend in-person classes?
Yes, definitely, Sean. All unvaccinated children are still allowed to go to attend in-person classes. Also, Vice President Sara Duterte emphasized earlier that there shall be no segregation and no discrimination of unvaccinated learners because our vaccination program is not mandatory, Sean.
All right, and what happens, Maan, with schools that are caught not complying with any of these protocols? Will there be penalties, and who is going to enforce these new rules?
Yes, Sean, as to the penalties, that's a good question, but Vice President Sara Duterte said in her ambush interview with her earlier, there will be no penalties for schools that will regarding the November 2 full face-to-face classes. There will be no penalties for all the schools. Sean.
What about penalties for those caught, violating, for example, certain social distancing or physical distancing rules? Any talk of that, or still no advice from the Vice President and Secretary of Education?
I'm sorry, your line is kind of breaking in and out. Can you repeat the question?
All right, I think we've run out of time for this, but anyway, we'll just get more clarity on these issues as they come. Thank you so much for those updates. Marian Enriquez reporting to us live from Mandaluyong. Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas has raised key interest rates by 75 basis points. over a month ahead of the Monetary Board policy setting meeting on August 18. This raises the benchmark interest rate to 2.20 or 3.25% on the back of U.S. inflation clocking in at over 9%. The Philippines will host the Southeast Asian Games again in 2033. Philippine Olympic Committee President Bambol Tolentino said they will present the hosting bid to Malacanang. If approved, this will be the 5th time that the country plays host to the biennial games.
Speaker ko.
And Netflix series Squid Game makes history as the first non-English language show to be nominated for Outstanding Drama Series at the Emmy Awards. The South Korean drama series bagged 14 nominations in total. And for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.